Jon Shainman, who's been on scene, and of course a veteran of covering the Treasure Coast Forest, anchor Jon Shainman at Al's Family Farms north of Fort Pierce. Good afternoon to you, Jon.
Good afternoon to you, Michael. We are here, as you mentioned, at Al's Family Farms on Kings Highway, just northwest of Fort Pierce city limits. And if you were looking for a ground zero of where a tornado may have touched down, unfortunately, this may be it. I'm joined now by both Matt and Jeff Schorner, the owners of Al's Family Farms. Gentlemen, we were talking just before we came on air. You guys have both been through many of these hurricanes. You have a 100-year-old historic building there. Have you ever seen anything like this?
I've never seen anything like this in my whole life. And I've been on this earth for 64 years. Nothing. I don't even see this in a movie.
What happened? What did you hear? Did you get an alert?
Well, and then we had departed for our house about 15 or 20 minutes before this hit. Before that, we were working on catalogs and getting a mailing out. We had some of our packing crew and we had our office crew here. They all left at about 2:40. My wife and I, Sharon, behind you, stayed until probably 4. And then when I got home, and I live about 15 minutes away, Mike Jacqueline of Jacqueline & Sons texted me, said, I heard that a tornado has gone through the Red Barn and the park. Not sure, but that's what I heard. So we waited till we checked the radar to make sure there's no more ridiculous supercells around, and we took off and managed to work our way here and then get as far as the bridge and saw that it was all gone.
My brother called me.
Yep.
And said one of the firefighters went by to answer a call nearby from a tornado, someone trapped. And he said he snapped a picture and he said, I don't see the top of the barn, it's gone.
Yeah, our oldest son, Brad, is a first responder. He's an engineer with St. Lucie County Fire Department. So he was first on the scene.
And you guys were both telling me that was sort of a 2-story building there.
Oh yeah, that was a 2-story building.
That building was twice as tall as what it is now.
Mm-hmm.
5,000 square feet or so, right?
The floor is. Plus you got to add the box lofts, mezzanine.
Roughly 9,000.
Oak trees. You were saying that you've got oak trees behind us here that have been here for...
They're all gone.
68 years. Some of that one. These were all planted when they were 4 years old or 5, and they're all 22 years old. Plus, they're close to 30. There's just no tree has survived all the way through here. Even that one, which is probably 150 years old, has been decimated.
I see it looks like FDOT is here with an emergency response crew. That's perhaps a good sign that the debris and things will start to get cleared right away, we hope.
Yeah, that's the hope. Where do you start is the question you ask yourself as you process it. You just say, I've had a great run here. I've been doing this for 40 years. But Matt is my youngest, and he is the only one that wanted to go ahead and say, Dad, I want to do what you did. I want to farm. I want to do citrus. And he's got a degree in citrus from Florida Southern. He's trying to farm and run this packing house, and he's saying, what do we do now? Do we rebuild? I said, you have to wait. You have to wait at this, and you have to process, and you have to pray, and you have to be patient, because you can't get ahead of it. You have to just figure it out. This is like you can't go to somebody and ask them, what do you do when this happens? Because it hasn't happened to anybody like this, exactly. So we're just going to pray and fast and ask God what's next.
We're not quitters.
No.
We work our butts off, blood, sweat, heart, and tears poured into this. We just don't know what we're going to do.
I'll tell you what, though, we're going to pack our fruit this year because we got a lot of friends in this industry. And I promise you that one of them will say, hey, bring it over here. We can still get half our office or a third of the office up and going. Yeah. We can take some of our machinery, and somebody's got a dry roof we can get under, and we'll probably get these gift fruit packages out just like any normal year, because that's just the way our industry works.
Your season was supposed to start in a couple of weeks,
We were going
right?
to start packing on October 20th. Yep. So it's like...
The amount of mechanics that have called me and said, you want to build back? We will volunteer our help to build you back, to get you running.
And Matt, you and I were talking a little while ago. There was some optimism. The citrus industry has taken so many hits in the last several years, but you guys were thinking this might be a decent year.
Yep. We just didn't feel like God is ever telling us to quit. That's why this doesn't make any sense.
Right. We're pretty stubborn. We're pretty resilient. I've come from a fishing and farming background for all these years. We are always looking for next year, So, but we do have to process.
Yep.
So we have to figure out. I mean, when I did this in 2002, I've been doing this since '83. But when I restored this red barn from a used furniture store back to a packing house, it was in $2002 with 2002 labor pools. Now, what's the situation?
With the
Can you
state
do
of
it
the
again?
economy, it's going to
Yeah.
be difficult.
What can you do now as a farmer?
Well, hopefully Jeff and Matt, as you mentioned, a lot of friends, a lot of people. Al's Family Farms is really an icon in this community. That's a 100-year-old building. I know that I've brought my family here to take pictures out in front with the little circle hole where you stick your head through, and this is where people would get a lot of their fresh fruit around in the community, and they're hoping that they will rebuild. We'll have much more from the Schroners later today, but I wanted to send it back to you guys in the studio and just give you guys an idea. It's not just communities that have been hit. A lot of local businesses also wondering what's next.